Okay, this is the homework help video for problem 1-6. This is week number 1, review preview. Okay, so the problem tells you to simplify the expressions below as much as possible. Simplify means put it down into the fewest possible terms and letters and numbers and variables. Like you want it as simple. So right away in that first problem, I see parentheses. And I know that parentheses do not mean simplest term. So I know 2a is not actually touching the parentheses, so I'm going to just drop that down and work on it later. The 4 is touching the parentheses, and that tells me to multiply. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to multiply it by each part inside the parentheses. That's called the distributive property. So 4 times 7 is positive 28. 4 times 5a is 20a. And if I look at that, I see two terms that go together, 2a and 20a. Okay? 28 is a number by itself. We call it a constant. So a number and a variable cannot be combined. So 2a and 20a can be combined. And combine is another word for add. So 2a plus 20a is 22a. So 28 plus 22a. And that is our final answer because you cannot combine a number with a variable. Okay, let's do letter B. Letter B actually has two sets of parentheses, and so I'm going to do two different multiplications. The first one, I'm going to take the 4 and multiply it by each part. The second one, I'm going to take the negative 5. Don't forget that that negative is attached to that 5. It's a super easy thing to forget. Okay? So the first part, 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 2 is 8. The second part, negative 5 times 7x is negative 35x. And you guys could write that as plus negative 35 or simply as negative 35x like I had at the beginning. Okay? A negative and a subtraction are the same thing. Last but not least, negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. So I'm sure I can combine something here, right? So let's look at anything goes with 12x, negative 35x. Anything goes with 8, negative 25. So my final answer, my simplified answer, is 12x plus negative 35x is negative 23x, right? And 8 plus negative 25 is negative 17. All right, I think that's my final answer because I can't combine negative 23x and negative 17. I'm going to choose one of the next two to do. I think I'm going to do letter D. Letter D also has parentheses. The 2x is not involved, so I'm going to drop that down and deal with it later. The x is touching the parentheses, so I'm going to multiply it by each part. X times x is x squared. Okay? X times 6 is 6x. And as I'm looking at this, I see 2x and 6x. They are like terms. The x squared is actually not the same thing. If you guys have ever worked with algebra tiles, remember x looks like this, is long and skinny, and an x squared is a square. They're not the same thing, so we can't combine them. And so my final answer is going to be x squared plus 8x because I can combine the 2x and the 6x.